In humanity, some live life looking downwards, seeing only the refuse when they look around and mostly people's backsides when they look up. Those who assert that a communist society must inevitably embrace sharing wives are akin to such downward-looking individuals. Is a communist society one that practices wife sharing? Certainly not. In a communist society, marriage and family do not exist, and without these institutions, there are neither husbands nor wives to be shared. Claiming wife sharing in a communist society is a gross misunderstanding. It stems from a perspective entrenched in the current human condition, one where marriage and family are givens. These individuals wrongly assume that in a communist society, everyone must share their spouses, failing to realize that marriage and family simply do not exist in such a society, removing the foundation and environment for wife sharing. To truly grasp the nature of a communist society, one must familiarize themselves with certain authors and their works. Plato's The Republic. Thomas More's Utopia. Edward Bellamy's Looking Backward. Samuel Butler's Erewhon. Francis Bacon's New Atlantis. Tommaso Campanella's The City of the Sun. William Morris's News from Nowhere. Samuel Butler's Utopia. Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. George Orwell's 1984. B. F. Skinner's Walden 2. Mahatma Gandhi's On Liberation. St. Simon's The New Christianity. Fourier's The New World of Harmony and The Theory of Passions. Owen's Revolution in the Mind and Practice of the Human Race. Marxist Philosophy, Political Economy, and Scientific Socialism. Confucius' depiction of the Great Unity in Li Ji, Li Yun. Kang Youwei's Book of Great Unity. Understanding these authors and their works is insufficient for a comprehensive understanding of a communist society, as their perspectives were formulated within a context where marriage and family were prevalent. While their thoughts transcended reality, their consciousness still held that a communist society would evolve from the basis of marriage and family, rendering their depictions of an ideal state incomplete and disjointed. The precursor to the term communism was utopia, perceived by many as an unattainable, fantastical society. Works like those of Morris, Butler, and Huxley essentially critiqued utopian ideals. However, as Oscar Wilde, a prominent figure in the aesthetic movement and a renowned British writer, poet, playwright, and artist, stated, a map of the world that does not include utopia is not worth even glancing at, often quoting, "We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars." Those labeling the second home founded by Life Achanuan as promoting sharing wives are akin to those dwelling in the gutter. In the past, some claimed that the Communist Party of China and its Red Army advocated for sharing wives, leading the common folk, upon hearing sharing wives and imagining their wives being shared, to slander, oppose, and resist the Communist Party. What was the reality? The Communist Party never practiced sharing wives. Although extreme instances of wife sharing occurred within the Soviet Communist Party, these were localized and temporary. It would be unfair to label someone as diseased simply because they have scars. Frankly, the second home created by Life Achanuan is the utopia and communist society that people have longed for. Historical sages merely conceptualized and aspired to such a society, but we have transformed these ideals into reality. Does the second home practice sharing wives? Of course not, as there is neither marriage nor family within the second home, eliminating the existence of husbands and wives. Once individuals enter the second home, any previous spousal relationships are dissolved, and a new human life commences. Sharing wives is a powerful propaganda tool wielded by ignorant, backward, and despicable reactionary elements to deceive the public and attack civilization. This tactic effectively incites public outrage and fear, especially among those clinging to traditional notions and possessing limited knowledge. They use this simplistic notion of sharing wives to stir up public anger and hatred, hindering humanity's progress towards a more civilized ideal society. Regardless of how the vile and despicable attempt to demean and insult the utopian and communist society of the second home, humanity's pursuit of freedom and an ideal society cannot be halted. Today's second home will become the model and blueprint for all of humanity, leaving those who insult the second home as promoting sharing wives, from their gutter-dwelling perspectives to lament, howl in hysteria, and be undeterred. There is neither marriage nor giving in marriage in heaven, and in the kingdom of the greatest Creator, there are no husbands and wives. The second home is a replica of the 1,000-year world of heaven. Tomorrow, when all of humanity's sages recognize and understand the second home, humanity will rejoice and celebrate, leaving only those who claimed the second home advocated sharing wives, the pests of human civilization, to be shamed and crawl into the earth, cursing from the depths of hell. October 13, 2011.